They say that your school days are the best days of your life. Not true. Your university days are the best days of your life.
There are over 80 people here tonight from a class of 45 years ago, which is a kind of a testament to the fun we knocked out of it when we were here.
Everywhere there's now a building, there was a football pitch when we were here, so that was my main memory of it.
Nuala and I started together. We're from Bar, both of us are from Bar, and we just looked after each other for the first year because we were terrified, absolutely terrified. And we walked in tonight the same as if we walked in 45 years ago.
The Ponderosa in Ranelagh was a great place for a Spanish omelette. Remember that?
I do, yeah.
It was absolutely vital food because for the rest of the week you mightn't eat very much, you know.
Peggy and I went on the J1 visa to America in 1972. We went off and had a real adventure. It was absolutely fantastic. And then when we came home, I introduced Peggy to my brother. And they're married.
45 years this year.
So we have a lot to thank UCD for.
Uni was a great time. I loved it. You know, it was great, I suppose, mixing around with other people, getting away from home, I suppose, was a part of it too, you know, and the freedom of it. Meeting a whole lot of outside people. Loved it.
The fights that were between the science building and the arts building for Christmas trees coming up to Christmas time, and not being able to put your nose outside the front door of the arts block. That springs to mind big time.
Our bar was called the Green Shebeen, and it was prefabs, green prefabs. And if you leaned against the side of the prefabs, they'd start bending because they were wooden framed. So when you compare the Green Shebeen to the current student facilities stroke bar, I mean, it's chalk and cheese. It's a totally other world.
I remember we were all together in Theatre L for marketing. I forget who was doing, maybe it was Tony Cunningham was doing the lecture. Yeah. And at one point he asked us to think of the very first word that would come into our head when he'd mention a particular brand. One individual, a very tall man who played in the second row for Ireland, and he shouted out, "Knickers!"
You know, I went into an accountancy firm after I did the BComm, so it was a sort of a direct feed, if you want to call it that.
Well, I took the easy route. I went teaching. I didn't do what some of these other guys did and go on into management or go on into accounting. But I have to say I loved it. I loved teaching, and I loved teaching business studies and accounting in particular I loved.
And I did accountancy afterwards. And then I ended up selling door handles.
But I was already a teacher, you see, when I started doing BComm, because I did that at night, which was 4 years at night. So I stayed teaching. It gave me extra subjects to teach. But then I went on and did certified accountancy. So I moved from there into fund management. So that's where I ended up.
To leave college and then go to great companies, it was your whole career was just went from there.
UCD is one of the best universities in the world probably at this stage. People can be very proud of a BComm degree from UCD, and it's certainly something that you can progress with and go on with and maybe do an MBA or a Master of Marketing.
Well, like I suppose 45 years on, it's very difficult to give advice to a graduating class now, and probably back in our time, getting a degree was the exception rather than the rule. It's now the rule rather than the exception.